So I was watching a video and Mojo Sports Cards was talking about how starting a sports card shop was his dream as a child. And from what I understand, I don't think he is going to build this sports card shop. I think he's not going to do it. Here's the thing, having a sports card shop is extremely hard. I'm not basing this off of my experience now. That was my dream too as a kid. I started collecting sports cards at 8 years old, and I always wanted to have my own card shop. But here's the deal: there's a lot of expenses. So first of all, obviously you got to pay the lease for the building. So you have that every single month. That can be, depending on where you're at, where your location is at, it can be pretty expensive, especially in California. I think that's where he wanted the sports card shop. No telling how much it is. I'm here in Long View, Texas, and I think out here it's like maybe $1,500, $2,000 a month. So you have that expense, but your biggest expense is always going to be inventory. You always got to have fresh inventory coming into your store. Another thing, you're going to want to have wax, and not just retail wax. You're going to want to have hobby wax, hobby boxes. People buy them. Some people can't afford hobby boxes, so they buy blasters and megas, and they go the retail route. But you still got to have hobby boxes. You got to have a hobby wax. You got to have singles. So you always have to be able to. You have to buy all the time. People come in, they're going to sell you their collections. So you got to buy collections. You have to flip those. But you can't have this mentality like, I'm just going to have a sports card shop and that's going to be it. No, you want to start creating content, grow a YouTube channel, maybe have a blog, sell stuff on eBay, whatnot. Live selling and whatnot is hot right now. It's live social shopping is where it's at. You go on live, you start to sell. You have auctions. Selling live, it works. It's going to get you business. So it can be tough to have a sports card shop, and then you got employees. So now that's another expense. Supplies, employees, rent, supplies, storage supplies, top loaders, penny sleeves, one touches, so on and so forth. So there's a lot of expenses, but you can make it happen, but you just have to work your butt off. You have to work your butt off. And I'm talking, this is something you have to be passionate about. If you're willing to put in 10, 12-hour days, you can do this. Maybe have some employees, pay them, some kids like in high school, pay them $7, $8, $9 an hour. But you can make it work, but you have to do a lot. You definitely want to build out that YouTube channel. Once again, you get that YouTube channel monetized, you can make good money doing that. And if you can drive traffic with a blog, that can generate you income as well. You can sell your own offers. You can send them to your eBay listings. So there's a lot that goes into it, but you can do it. But are you willing to put in the work? Do you have the capital? Another thing, you got a sports card shop, guess what? You got to pay for insurance. You have to insure that stuff, because if your shop gets broken into and you don't have insurance to insure that stuff that you have in there, you're just out whatever they got from you. You know what I'm saying? You're up, you know what, creek, basically. So you have to pay for insurance to cover any losses that you may have that are due to like theft and. So there's a lot that goes into it. One guy I really like is Rob from Burbank Cards. This dude has been in business for a long time. He does videos on Instagram all the time. This guy knows how to run a sports card shop. Follow this guy, learn from him. Yes, he works. He does a lot in his shop. Obviously, he has his dad, and his son is the guy that buys all the stuff. He's a freaking crazy buyer. They will buy anything. They'll drop 10 grand just like that, 20 grand just like that. If you got good stuff, if you got fire, they buy at, if the stuff is liquid, 70% comps around there. So like as I was saying, if you have a sports card shop, you got to be able to get inventory. If you can't get inventory, you can't make it work. You got to have wax, retail, hobby. You got to have singles. You got to have the stuff that sells. Look, memorabilia, why sell? It makes no sense at a sports card shop. Yeah, some people are into memorabilia and stuff like that. It doesn't sell. At the end of the day, what does the market want? That's what matters. What does the market want? What is trending? Right now, it's all about football. and baseball because it's October. Basketball season's going to be here in a few weeks. This is a great time in the hobby. But as I was saying before, and you got to have some capital. Obviously, if you're going to start a sports card shop, you got to have what, $10,000, $20,000, $30,000. You got to have some capital up front. If you got a lot of inventory, if you have a lot of singles, great. That'll work. But then, of course, why do you need a sports card shop? Just sell stuff on whatnot. But yes, you can make it happen. But are you willing to put in the work? Are you if this is something you're passionate about? If you're willing to put in 10, 15-hour days, you can do it. If you have other people that just like you, that have the knowledge you have, and they're willing to put in 10, 15-hour days and work at your shop, even better. You're going to have employees, especially if you start to scale and get really big. It's no longer going to be a one-man show, but you can make it happen. But the big expense is going to be the inventory. And can you get inventory? That's the thing. Can you get that inventory? What do? You got to travel to card shows. Maybe you run an ad. Hey, I buy sports cards. You can get a good deal for me. Buy it from me. I buy sports cards, all sports, baseball, football, basketball, hockey, non-sports. You know what I'm saying? Run ads. Do whatever you have to do, but you need to have that inventory coming in all the time. You know, if you set up shop, people will come in and try to save their collections, buy and flip and make a profit, move on. So that's the thing, is having a sports car shop. Now, I'm not basing this on my experience, but I did some thinking about it, and I did some research and I started to study this stuff. And I was like, I've been a collector my whole life. I'm 47 years old. I've been a collector since I was 8 years old. I started collecting when I got a set of 1987 Topps baseball from my parents. I think it was for my birthday. And that's when I started collecting. And I was always into sports, just not really sports cards. And I got into sports cards. And I used to go to shows with my mom all the time when I was young, at hotels and motels and stuff like that. Nothing like the National or the Dallas Card Show. So, like I said before, you got to have the inventory. And you got to know your stuff, because are you buying the right stuff? Or is this stuff you're going to buy that's just going to sit there and not move? You got to know how to flip stuff. And you got to give these people good deals as well. Rob at Burbank, 7% comps if it's liquid. So if you have $1,000 Jaden Daniels Prism rookie card that's numbered, that's PSA 9, it's $1,000. He's probably going to give you about $700 for it, because it's liquid. He sells. So that's good. Hey, you left the store with $700. You go on eBay, you're looking at 13% just from the fees, and then shipping, and then if you want to insure the card or whatever. So is it worth selling something on eBay? Just go to Rob's store. So as I was saying before, you got to have inventory. You got to have a lot of it, and you got to just have that stuff keep coming in. Now, what are we having? Well, now there's a changing of the guard. No longer Panini's not going to have the licenses. It's going to be Fanatics. They have all the licenses. So if you have a card shop, you're going to want to get all the good wax that people are going to want to buy. And it's going to be, what is it going to be? It's going to be Topps products. It's going to be Topps basketball. It's going to be, so you get it. So if you have a sports card shop, you're going to want to get that license. Well, it's not that easy from what I understand. There's certain things you have to do. If your shop, you have to have a brick and mortar sports card business, an actual shop, physical location. From what I understand, talking to card shop owners, you have to be open so many hours per week. I think it's at least 40 hours per week. I'm not sure what the exact number is. So there's certain things that have to happen. You got to buy their less popular products as well. You're just not going to get Topps Chrome basketball that comes out this year. Just give me a whole bunch of that stuff. You might only get a few boxes. Don't tell you, you might not get a case. So there's a lot to it. And I think the big money is in buying collections and flipping them for a profit. Buy a collection, go through it, grade whatever you can, sell it in your shop, sell it on eBay, sell it to friends, family, whatever. Doing that, wax, from what I understand, sometimes their profit margins are not as high with wax. With singles, I think the profit margins can be higher, especially if you can get really, really good deals. So yeah, so this is just this is my opinion about the whole thing. I'm hoping Mojo Sports does start a shop. Why not? I mean, I know he spends a lot of money on travel and singles anyway. He's already spent a lot of money to do what he does. why not have a sports card shop? Maybe he's gonna go that route and just decide to, like, you know, buy collections, travel to sports card shows, and create content and grow the YouTube channel even larger. Maybe just decides to just keep doing what he's doing. But this is Tyrone Ratcliffe, or Ty the Sports Card Guy. Make sure you comment, like, and subscribe. Give me your thoughts about the video, and I'll talk to you later.